Deformation processes are a metal forming operation which cause a significant shape change by deforming the metal parts whose initial form is bulk rather than sheet. Starting forms are cylindrical bars and pellets, rectangular pellets, slabs, and similar shapes. These processes stress the metal sufficiently to cause the plastic flow into desired shape. This can be performed as cold, warm, and hot working. The main importance of the bulk deformation is that in the hot working, a significant shape change can be accomplished. In the cold working, strength is going to be increasing during the shape change. Also, little or no waste, where some of the operation are going to be near net shape or net shape processes where the parts require no or little subsequent machining. The four basic bulk deformation processes are the rolling, where the slab or plate is going to be squeezed between two opposing rolls. The forging, where the work is going to be squeezed and shaped between the opposing dies. The extrusion, where the work is going to be squeezed through a die opening and thereby taking the shape of the opening itself. Finally, we have the wire and the bar drawing, where the diameter of the wire or the bar is going to be reduced by pulling through a die opening. The first operation is the rolling. To achieve the deformation, the work thickness is going to be reduced by the compressive forces exerted by the two opposing rolls. The rotating rolls perform two main functions. First is going to pull the work into the gap between them by the friction between the work part and the rolls. Also is going to squeeze the work and at the same time reduce its cross section. Some of the roll products made of steel. Products such as the structure shapes and the rails are rolled from bloom. Plates and coils are rolled from slabs. The bars, rods, and relative geometries are rolled from the pellets. The rolling can be classified first based on the geometry or based on the temperature. So, based on the work geometry, it can be classified into a flat rolling, which used to reduce the thickness of the rectangular cross-section, or the square cross-section is going to be formed into a shape such as an I-beam in what we call the shape rolling. The hot rolling is a classification based on the temperature, where it can achieve a significant deformation by increasing temperature above the recrystallization temperature. While the other type is going to be the cold rolling, where it's going to produce sheets and the plate stock when the part is going to be deformed and the room temperature or slightly above. The following diagram shows a side view of the flat rolling, indicating before and after thicknesses, the work velocities, the angle of the contact with the rolls, and other features. The draft is the amount of the thickness reduction, and the reduction is the draft expressed as a fraction of the starting stock thickness. The D is the draft, TO is starting thickness, the TF is fine thickness, and the R is the reduction value. Shape rolling is used to produce the construction shapes such as the I-beam, the L-beams, and the U-channels. Also the rails for the railroad tracks, and the round and the square bars and roads. The road is going to be deformed into a contoured cross-section rather than the flat shape, and is accomplished by passing the work part through the rolls that have the reverse desired shape of the part. Rolling equipment is massive and expensive. The best configuration of them is the 2 high, where two opposing rolls used for longer products like sections. For light sections and bar, 3 high, work passes through the rolls in both directions. And the 4 high have 2 work stands with steel supported by the backing roll supports with the smaller rolls giving a greater accuracy for the rolling flat products such as the plates. The universal beam mills includes the stands with both horizontal and vertical rollers, bearings on the steel at the same time. So the rolled steel after that is going to be cooled. The other types can be the cluster mill with the multiple packing rolls on small rollers, and we have the tandem rolling mills where the sequence of the two high mills are going to operate on the part. Thread rolling is a metal rolling process used extensively in the manufacturing industry to mass produce screws. It's important for the mass producing of the bolts and the screws and performed as a cold working in a thread rolling machine. The main advantage over the thread cutting is the high production rate, better material utilization, and stronger thread and the better fatigue resistance. Ring rolling operation is a deformation process in which a thick-walled ring of a small diameter is rolled into a thin-walled ring of a larger diameter. As a thick-walled ring is compressed, the formed metal elongates and causing the diameter to enlarge. The hot working process is used for large rings and cold working process for the smaller rings. The products includes the ball and the roller bearing races, steel tires for the railroad wheels, and rings for the pipes. Also, the pressure vessels and rotating machinery parts. Hot pressing is also known as a seamless tubing or the roll pressing process. It is used for making thin-walled round objects. Seamless tube forming is popular and economical process in comparison to the machining because it saves the material wasted in the boring of the parts. The hot pressing includes the rotary pressing to obtain the formed tube by the pressing at a pointed mandrel through the pellet in a specifically designed rolling mill. The rotary pressing can be performed either on a 2-high rolling mill or on a 3-high rolling mill. In the former, the two rollers are set at an angle to each other. The pellet under the roller is going to be deformed and the cavity formation is going to be initiated at the center due to the tensile stressing. The carefully profiled shape of the mandrel assists and controls the formation of the cavity inside the seamless pipe.